Charboneau and David Lynn Miller.
Welcome to Dudes on Movies. I'm your dude Scott.
I'm your dude Dave.
And today we're discussing 1985's A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge, directed by Jack Shoulder and starring Mark Patton, Kim Myers, and Robert Englund. We're wrapping up Pride Month, Dave, with a doozy. Why don't you give everyone a synopsis?
Yep, this is the sequel to Wes Craven's original film from 1984, in which the deceased child murderer Freddy Krueger is back to once again haunt someone in their sleep. And even if you haven't seen this film, you're very likely familiar with the Nightmare franchise, so I think you're going to enjoy our discussion even if you haven't seen the movie, because there's an unexpected undercurrent of other stuff happening. But in the end, though, it's a nightmare movie, and teenagers are stalked and killed, and we plan to have a fun time talking about it.
Yes, and that's partly why I put it on our schedule, because we've done some heavy stuff this month, especially with Boys Don't Cry. That was a real downer.
Yes, it was.
It took us a week to recover.
Yes.
But then we've also done a few experimental films, too, with The Watermelon Woman and Funeral Parade of Roses. So I figured, let's do something that's just going to be fun, lowbrow, trashy, and it still is relevant to Pride Month.
Yes.
So let's do this one.
Palate cleanser.
Yes. So, and also, you know, I'm a fan of the Nightmare on Elm Street series, and this one's kind of the bastard child of the franchise in many ways.
Yes.
Because it messes with the lore of Freddy Krueger hasn't really been like set in stone at this point, so they're kind of messing with the formula a little bit. Because most of it, he goes in your dreams and messes with you there. Here, he's trying to like embody someone in physical form to do his bidding. So it's very different.
Yeah, there's the dream haunting, but the main thing is he's trying to get inside somebody to, I guess, you know, move around on the outside world. I don't know what his like full plan is, because I mean, is he gonna be Freddy inside this person and try to like, you know, mix in? I don't know. Yeah,
and sometimes it doesn't make sense what's happening,
right?
And that's okay.
It is, because it's still a good time.
Because it's a Nightmare on Elm Street film.
Yep.
So yeah, this movie, you mentioned that there's an undercurrent to it. Nowadays especially, but even at the time, like there is this like homoerotic undercurrent to the whole film. And with Mark Patton playing our lead character Jesse, he was a closeted gay man at the time. And he felt like, you know, this is a gay story,
right?
You know, even at the time. And he was, I guess, critics and everyone thought that was a bad thing at the time. It was weird.
Yeah, we didn't have the I guess, more positive response to these kinds of, you know, this kind of subtext back then. And because a movie, if a movie had a gay story, it was upfront about it, or it didn't have anything. There was no mention of it, or it was fully that.
Right. Yeah.
Very rarely did you have something that was like this nuanced and you know, full of stuff that like isn't obvious to everybody.
Yeah. A lot of people blame Mark Patton for this. Like I know the director or
really?
producer or someone said like, we didn't write it that way. He's just too gay and he made it that way.
Come on.
Like, which is ridiculous and disgusting to say that.
Yes, it is. And I mean, honestly, if what came out of it wasn't what you intended, then celebrate that.
So it's Mark Patton's fault that there's a leather bar scene and a bondage scene with a guy getting whipped on his bare ass. That's Mark Patton's fault?
Yeah, Marshall. Yeah, I mean, like Marshall Bell towel whipped on his bare ass in the shower. I mean, like that definitely was not filmed or written by Mark Patton.
Yeah, it's not his fault.
No.
So before we get into this, let's let the people know we've moved studios. So if we sound a little different, that's why.
Yes.
We're gonna try to hone in the sound, make it as good as possible. But big things happening here at Dudes on Movies.
Right.
So do you want to get into the film?
Let's get into it.
All right. So the film opens with a shot of a school bus, driving down a street, a long road towards the camera. And ominous music is playing because this is a Nightmare on Elm Street, everybody. And so we get to see like it's letting kids on and off the bus, and then we see our hero Jesse sitting in the back seat, like one of the back seats. He looks like an emo kid. I don't know if you noticed this. He's like kind of like sweaty, and his hair is like real stringy and stuff.
Yes,
it looks like a My Bullet for My Valentine member. in 1985.
Yeah, he's
more
ahead
of
of
like
his
a
time.
Cure look, I guess.
Right. He's kind of got a little bit of. He looked like he'd be hanging out with Robert Smith.
Yes, he's got some goth going on here,
Uh-huh.
but the rest of the movie he really doesn't.
Well, the rest of the movie, there is one bit of consistency here. They establish in the first scene is sweat.
Yes,
Mark Patton is sweaty and topless through half of this movie.
it rules.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
He's not topless on the school bus, unfortunately, but
Right, but he
is
does
swe-
look like he's a wreck. I mean, his
I
hair
know,
is like
right?
pasted to his head, and
And he's like that throughout half this movie.
I know.
Like,
Yeah.
this is a really demanding performance that he gives. Like,
Yes.
he has to be frightened and sweaty and upset all the time.
Yes.
It's quite a thing he does here. But yeah, he's on the bus, and the bus starts like going out of control, and it starts driving off road through the desert.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out Freddy Krueger's driving the bus. Everybody,
Right.
who saw this coming?
And when it's driving through the desert in Ohio,
Yes, the vast Ohio desert.
I like how it ends up in this like field of miniatures.
Yeah.
They use this same. It reminded me that the set looked a lot like what we see in some of the visuals from Army of Darkness.
Yeah,
And-
it does.
And I mean, I like this style. I like when they pull back and you see the bus sitting on one of the like the stone pillars.
Yeah, because the whole ground starts collapsing around.
Yes.
It's like the only people on the bus now are Jesse and like two popular girls,
Right.
something like that.
And they had been making fun of him.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they deserve to be on this pillar.
Yes.
Can't make fun of Jesse.
That's right, exactly.
But yeah, I love that image too because the ground like starts collapsing, and then we see like a bunch of spires made of stone,
Right.
like hundreds of feet going from the ground up into this canyon, and the bus is just perilously balanced on one of them.
Yes.
like it's teetering back and forth.
And they're trying to back away because Freddy has left the driver's seat and is terrorizing them in the bus, and they just keep like advancing toward the back.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's their only move, but
Right.
they're just like at one point they're about 10 feet in front of the emergency exit, and they realize, oh, we've got 10 more feet to work with, so they scream and run to that door. They're like, okay guys, well, if you don't run out the door, then he's going to get you, but if you do run out the door, you're going to fall to your death.
Yes, I wonder if they realize they're on a pillar or not.
Yeah, maybe they haven't made that connection
Because
yet.
I know they were looking out the window at the ground, but I mean now Freddy's approaching, so you're
Yes.
focused on that issue, I think.
Yeah, probably so.
Yeah,
Got to
so-
neutralize that first.
Yeah, and he gets up to them, and the bus starts to fall, and Freddy like slashes at them, and then we get a smash cut to like a tomato in a kitchen being sliced with a knife.
Ah, yes.
It's a good cut.
A
I
nice
like it.
dissolve, right.
Yeah, that's my favorite Spaceballs joke when John Candy goes, "Nice dissolve." I think Bill Pullman says, "We're not going to get anywhere under that sun in a few hours," and then it like dissolves from their faces into the sun.
I had completely spaced that he says that.
It's my favorite joke in
Oh
that
my
movie,
gosh,
dude.
wow.
So anytime I hear something about a dissolve, immediately John Candy. It's so good.
Okay, well now that's all I'm going to think of too.
Yep. But we can think about tomatoes being sliced here. We can think about cereal called Fu Manchus.
Dude.
We can. We're in a nice kitchen here.
We sure are. We're in a great 80s kitchen. Yeah, and I looked it up. Fu Manchus is not a real cereal as far as I could tell, but I still like when movies make up their own products, and especially here
Yeah.
when the little girl uses the prize to scare Jesse.
Yeah, it's like little Freddy fingers. It's awesome.
Right.
Which is great because the claws become a big part of the story.
Yes.
And we see Jesse screaming in his bed, I think, or he wakes up screaming and sweating, and
Right.
his room is full of U-Haul boxes and just junk. Like this guy, they have moved to this house. You know, it's storytelling through the environment, which is good.
Yes. And I remember the first time I saw this movie, I didn't think they did a good enough job establishing that because I couldn't tell why the house looked lived in except for Jesse's room.
Yeah, they don't really elaborate much on why he hasn't unpacked. I'm
Right.
assuming he didn't want to move here, something like
Right.
that, and he's just refusing to unpack. Because his dad keeps getting on him about, you better unpack that room, son.
Yes.
You know, but he never does. He comes downstairs, and he's going to school, and Lisa comes to the door, played by Kim Myers. I guess they're like dating or something's going on here.
Yeah,
It seems like she's new and not new to the school, but like Jesse's parents don't really know who she is.
Right. And when she arrives, they're happy to see her, and they're like, oh, Lisa's here. Get moving, Jesse. So it's a normal thing for her to show up before school, and they drive to school together. She walks to the house, and then they take Jesse's car. And Jack Shoulder mentioned that he cast Kim Myers as Lisa because she looked like a young Meryl Streep.
I agree. I couldn't put my finger on it, but that's exactly what I've been thinking this whole time.
I remember an episode of Seinfeld, too, where she was in it. She plays like a woman who's dating Jerry, and Jerry doesn't really appreciate her. And then Kramer sees her, and he instantly falls in love. And he uses Newman for like a Cyrano in the bookstore.
Yeah.
And then Kramer and Jerry end up fighting over her.
I remember that one. That's a good one.
She has the scrunchie.
I knew I'd seen her before somewhere else, and that's where it was. Like I had seen this movie a few times already, so I knew who she was and what she looked like, but I knew she was in something else I had seen.
Yep.
Seinfeld. And so they go to school, and we're out at gym practice or something. They're playing baseball. Everyone's out on the field. The girls are hanging out. It looks like recess almost.
I know, because it's co-ed PE, but they still have segregated the girls from the boys, but they're on the same athletic field, and they're all dressed out in uniform and everything. And does he get hit in the balls with a
He gets hit in the head.
The head, that's right.
Because Grady comes up to bat, played by Robert Russler, this kind of like cocky... I don't know if you want to call him a jock, but he's kind of a jerk, but he's kind of your friend too.
Yes.
He's got a weird role in the film.
Yeah, frenemy.
Yeah, he's a frenemy. But Grady comes up and he gets cocky and he hits this like pop fly, and Jesse isn't paying attention to the game. He's looking at Kim Myers over there, talking to her friend Carrie, talking about sex and stuff.
Yes.
And he ends up getting hit in the head. So he goes down, and Marshall Bell plays the coach. Coach Schneider, I think. Is that his name?
Coach Schneider.
He comes up. He's like, "You okay? Well, pay attention next time." He's kind of a dick.
Yeah, he's a massive dick. And he's the kind of gym teacher that was a stereotypical gym teacher. Like, everybody hates him. He works you too hard. He's obsessed with hygiene and physical education, and it's all he knows.
It's all he cares about.
Right.
Yeah, and so he's always in a bad mood. And the game continues, and I think Grady got on base or something here. But then, he gets in a pickle on the next play, and Jesse ends up getting him out. And then they get in a fight, like a fist fight during the game. And Marshall Bell gives them, like, push-up detention. And then they become friends.
And during the fight, when they were wrestling around, I can't remember if Grady pantses him or if his pants just come down.
I think Grady pantses him. That's
Okay.
right, because then Carrie says, "Ooh, nice ass."
Yes.
Because she's like the sex-obsessed friend, right?
Right.
Yeah, you almost see the front. Like, this guy's pants came down.
Yes. I mean, and he keeps, like, fighting while semi-nude.
It's a good fight.
It is.
Yeah, and so, like, it cuts to them doing push-ups as punishment, and they're talking as if they're friends, which is, I guess the real frenemy thing here.
Right.
I like that Grady wasn't just like the bully,
Yeah.
A stereotypical bully. He was bullying him, but they've become buds.
And I guess now that I'm thinking about it, I think I had relationships of this kind. Like,
Yeah.
Guys who gave me shit, and then when we were punished together, it blossomed into, like, at least a toleration of each other.
Right, yeah, a mutual respect.
Yes.
We're going through this together.
Right.
Yeah. And so they go to the locker room afterwards, and Grady ends up telling Mark Patton, Jesse, all about the house that he moved into. Like, basically tells him about Nightmare on Elm Street 1.
Yes.
Like, here's what happened.
And he doesn't mention... Does he mention Nancy Thompson by name? I can't remember.
He might.
Okay.
I think so, because later they find her diary and they're like, "Oh,
Yes.
this was her." Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's telling the plot of Nightmare 1. And I like that the movie, because we've talked about it before, we like when sequels, try to do something new.
Yeah.
And in this one, it definitely does. I mean, this is very different from the first movie. But I like that they try to connect it this way by saying, oh, by the way, the house you're living in, that was where the first movie took place.
Yes. And that might explain what's going to happen.
Yes.
And so Jesse ends up having another nightmare. He wakes up like sweaty in bed, like pouring sweat. This guy had a bucket poured on him. He must have. And he like goes outside at his house, and he sees like through the basement window, like there's someone down there putting something into the furnace. It's like wrapped up in gauze, and he's placing it into the furnace to burn this. And it's Freddy Krueger down there, we all know. But Jesse goes down there to look, and he bumps into Freddy. And Freddy basically tells him, like, I need you to help me. Like, we got work to do, stuff like that. He says, I've got the brain and you've got the body. And he peels his head off and reveals his brain, which is a nice physical effect.
And this is another example of what you mentioned. This is definitely not the fault of Mark Patton. This scene is very gay. Jesse reacts to Freddy initially like he's getting sexual pleasure out of it. Mm-hmm. Like Freddy runs his claws over Jesse's flesh, and Jesse closes his eyes and throws his head back a little bit.
Yeah, dude. And like Freddy, I think at one point like grabs his face with his claws. Like he has his face in his hand, and their faces are inches from each other, and it looks like they're gonna kiss.
And when he says, "You've got the body," it's like he's looking at him in a I'm interested in you kind of way.
Definitely.
Like it's unmistakable. But, you know, I don't know how the filmmakers didn't see, oh wait, that's what this is.
I know that Robert Englund wanted to put one of the blades into his mouth also. Well. And one of the producers or directors said, no, those are sharp. We're not going to put them in your mouth.
Oh, that's not a prop, Robert.
Yeah, it's not fake blades apparently.
Okay. Huh.
Which is probably not good. What if Robert gets mad?
Yeah,
I mean, then he's got Freddy claws.
Or if he just slips, or like
he's already half Freddy Krueger all the time.
I mean, yes, like he played the guy in 16 movies.
I know that guy is never off.
No, and two TV series.
I know, right? This guy's a maniac,
right?
Working and as Freddy.
He also, like you said about how he slips, and we're joking around about the character of Robert Englund, of course, but like I remember he mentioned in the first movie how he did give Johnny Depp and Heather Langenkamp a bunch of shit because he said he was jealous of their youth and beauty because he was, you know, in his 40s and he felt like he was past his prime, and so he like made it tough on them. Right. Yeah. So like Robert Englund putting that Freddy glove on and actually hurting somebody, dude. It could happen.
I think that was in Never Sleep Again.
Never Sleep Again.
That's the documentary. It's like 4 hours long. Everybody should check it out. There's also a really good, I mean, it's not really good, but it's a good documentary called Scream Queen. My Nightmare on Elm Street or something like that. It's about Mark Patton and his life and the movie and stuff.
I'm going to watch that.
Yeah, so everyone should check that out. I think it's on Qube. So it's free. You should watch it. It's really good. So that you got homework, guys. You got 2 documentaries to watch.
That's right.
So that happens, and he peels his head off when he says he's got the brain, and then Jesse wakes from the nightmare for real now,
right?
Like screaming, because we never know if it's nightmare or real, right? That's like the whole thing.
Yes.
And so we go to school the next day, and they're in like science class or something, and the teacher is like talking about poop and pee, and everyone's like snickering because they're high school kids. Like Grady is sitting there next to some other friend. They're just like, poop, pee. It's so stupid.
Earlier, I think, too, that like when Grady and Jesse are doing their push-ups, Grady says something to Jesse. Like he looks over at Lisa, and he's like, so what's going on with you and Lisa? And
you
Jesse's
getting
like,
any? Yeah.
And he says, are you mounting her nightly? And I remember... that is like the most 80s sex line.
Dude, Grady is a character, man.
Yeah, he is.
Like later, he can't go to the pool party because he's grounded for pushing his grandma down a flight of stairs.
I mean,
like I don't know if that's real, but that is a line.
And look, if it's real, that's pretty sick. If he just made it up to be funny, that's also pretty bad.
Yes, dude. Like that guy's got some dialogue.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, Jesse is falling asleep in class because he had that horrible nightmare last night and probably couldn't sleep, right? And so as he's dozing off, we know, all right, he's falling asleep. It's a nightmare movie, right? A python suddenly appears around him and like starts strangling him. It's like wrapping around his body and his neck and stuff. And he wakes up and he's freaking out and trying to get it off. And then the teacher comes over and like scolds him, like, "What are you doing with my snake?"
That was a surprising reveal.
Which was very weird, right?
Right.
And apparently it's like the pet snake in the classroom.
Yeah.
And my guess, because we cut from that to Grady and the other dude like laughing at Jesse.
Yeah.
I think they pulled a prank on him. Like, I think they went over across the room, got the snake out, and put it on him while he was sleeping in class. And no one noticed.
Yeah, no one noticed. That's the key.
That's what I'm implying happened from this, but it's not spelled out. Like, I
Right.
thought, oh, it's just a fake snake. No, it's a real snake.
Yeah, because he's dreaming that he's got a snake wrapped around him, and it's like, oh, this is really scary. There's a snake, and then when he wakes up, there's an actual snake around him. I mean,
And the teacher's just like, hey, no, you should tisk, Jesse, you know.
okay,
You can't play with the snake.
listen, teacher, there should not be a full-sized python in the school.
They're kind of cool, though.
Well, they're very cool,
Yeah.
but they belong, in a river somewhere. You know, like
yes, in a temperate environment, they need
Yes.
to be doing stuff. Yeah, so and then like Jesse looks at Grady in this scene too, and like flips him off in a like fun, friendly way.
Yes.
which I found funny. I was like, man, he just like was like, oh man, good prank, guys.
Yeah,
immediately.
you got me.
Yeah.
Which I guess is that's a good defense mechanism to deal with bullies, is to just be like, okay, fine.
Yeah, right.
But like, it looks like they've had this rivalry for some time, and sometimes they fight, and sometimes they just kind of have this mutual. Oh yeah, we're cool. We're
Yep.
somewhat cool.
We're cool. I'll get you next time.
Uh-huh. Yes.
Yeah. So that was a fun day at school, but we come back home, and Jesse has to unpack. His dad, played by Qube Gulager, by the way. Welcome back to the show.
Yes, dude, and Qube Gulager. I mean, he just like watching him race through his lines, just like he did in The Return of the Living Dead and every other performance he's ever given. I mean, his wife's played by Hope Lang, and
Yeah.
he's on this ladder, and he goes, "Gee, Cheryl, you out of your gourd?"
He's got to be efficient, right?
Yes.
Like, we're shooting here. We're not wasting film. I know the lines. Let me say them. I love Jesse's parents, though. They're a great couple. I
Yes.
love them. They're great. They look like stereotypical mom and dad.
Oh yeah,
And so Jesse is forced to clean his room. I think he's about to leave to go on a date with Lisa or
he is, because
something.
like they had just gotten on the phone with Lisa, and she said, "Can you come over?" And he was ready to go, and he was excited to do it. And then as he's coming down the stairs, Qube Gulager tells him he got to clean his room.
Yep. Nope. Sorry, dude. Got to
Uh-huh.
go up there. And so he does. And he puts on some tunes. And we get one of the most famous scenes in the movie.
Yes.
Where Jesse has an unpacking dance party with himself.
And at one point, like, he gets on the bed and he is thrusting his hips, and he gets this croquet goal out and starts like jacking off with it and moving it side to side.
Yeah. As if it's his penis.
Right.
And he has like a cork gun too. And
Yes.
he like pops it as if he just jizzed.
Yes, it is very much like he is erupted.
And this, if you can't see the gay undertones of the film here, like, this is a big scene where you're just blind,
Oh,
right?
of course,
like,
right.
Like, everything is shot from the male gaze, but on Jesse.
Yes.
Like, we see his ass moving and grooving. Like, we see he's like, at one point he like backs his ass up into a dresser drawer to close it.
Yes.
He does like 3 little bumps on it. Like, this is hypersexualized.
It's unmistakable. And I don't know how you couldn't watch this in any year and go, "Oh, that's what that is."
I don't know, man. But it's also fun to watch him dancing around too, which is
It
cool.
Yeah, of course.
And he's a good dancer, I'll tell you that much.
got some moves.
He's got the moves. And so he's doing all this stuff in the privacy of his own bedroom. And then his mom barges in.
Guys, if you are the father or mother of a teenager, please knock whenever the door is closed. Always.
I never barge in. There's
No.
no way.
No.
No. Not only is it like courteous to do that, but you don't want to walk in on something that you
No.
don't want to see.
Because it's going to affect both you and them for the rest of your lives.
Think about it. Think before you act.
Right.
So yeah, Jesse's mom does not do that. She just barges in, and then I think the cork pops, and then Lisa's like, "Oh, hey." What's going on?
And the thing is, like, yeah, okay, so yeah, mom walks in, and Hope Lang just kind of goes, oh, but like, no, she's also got like Jesse's potential girlfriend with her, so it's double the embarrassment.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
This is a bad situation.
It's bad. It's bad all around. And so Lisa's like, hey, she's not bothered by it at all. No one's bothered by this, except maybe Jesse's a little embarrassed.
Yes.
And
he recovers pretty quickly.
He does, yeah. Lisa's just like, hey, I'll help you unpack,
Right.
Let's do that. Let's hang out that way. That's fine.
Yep.
Which is good. Good move, Lisa.
Oh, yeah.
Don't be pissed off.
Well.
You didn't come over. You didn't call me back. None of that.
Yeah, because I mean, like that's one of your first worries when Clue Gallagher tells him to go back upstairs. You're like, oh man, he's gonna stiff
yes.
Lisa.
Anytime Clue says anything to me, that's my first instinct.
You're in trouble.
Yeah, I'm in trouble, man. But but she's like that throughout the whole movie too, right? Like she's very supportive of him, especially when he starts telling her like what's happening to him. She's like, well, you got some kind of psychic powers. Let's figure this out.
Yes.
She's not like, well, you're crazy.
Yeah, she encounters weird things and just goes with it. It's pretty great. She's very
awesome,
supportive.
Right?
Yeah.
And so they unpack, and this is where they find, I think this is where they find Nancy's diary. It's up in the closet somewhere, and they start reading passages from it. And another subtext thing here is the way Jesse reads some of these. An entry about how Nancy was watching Glenn get undressed and ready for bed through the window and stuff, and she's like all into it, and she wants his body. And the way he reads it, like, it sounds like he is into it,
Yeah, it sounds like he's thinking about Glenn himself.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's Johnny Depp with that cutoff football jersey,
Yeah, you want to get that bare midriff in.
Dude, it's nice. So I'd read it that way too, Jesse. It is for real.
And also, too, like, the way, I don't know if this is an intention or whatever, but, like, when he goes into the closet and, and then brings things out of it, that could be, symbolism as well.
Yes.
But also in Jesse's closet, before he finds the diary, the closet contains Probe from Parker Brothers. And this was a board game that I never played, but I saw it in many houses.
I've never heard of Probe.
No, right? It's like right there center frame at one point. Like, I think they wanted you to see this. But like, I never played the game, but I was still like, oh, Probe, that's a game I saw a couple of times.
What is Probe? What do you do?
I don't know exactly. I just remember seeing it on people's shelves in closets.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, no one must have played it. They just had it.
Yeah, they just had it.
It was like my brother used to think that every VCR came with a copy of Pretty Woman because everyone just had it.
It's like Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, dude, you just had it.
He wasn't totally off.
No, there was probably some combo packs at Circuit City or something. But yeah, they then read some entries about how Nancy's having nightmares, and there's this guy with steel claws. His name is Fred, and he wants to take me to the boiler room. And Mark Patton, he's very good in this scene. Like when he shifts tones from the sexy reading about Johnny Depp, and then when he finally realizes, oh crap, Nancy was going through the same thing I was, his demeanor totally changes.
Yes.
He starts to realize, oh my God, he's connecting all these things back to him. This is repeating itself. I'm not crazy. This is real. So it's a big part of the movie where it's confirmed they're not just nightmares for you, dude.
Yes. My only, I guess, complaint with it is that they open the diary to the exact right spot.
Yeah, right.
I wish that maybe, like, he had been reading the diary. He had discovered it earlier on his own and had been reading it, bedside for however many days, and then he gets to the good stuff now.
Yeah, maybe there was a bookmark on that page or something. They just opened it there. Who knows?
Yeah,
I mean, or maybe I wonder when Nancy stopped writing in that diary. Probably when Freddy had started attacking her. She's like, you know what? I don't got time for this shit.
Right.
And it was the last page. Who knows? I don't know. But yeah, we get another nightmare sequence thing where, he wakes up sweating again. Like, and every time it's like there's more sweat.
And his sheets are drenched too. And
yes.
And also when Jesse's parents come into his room to check on him this time, obviously covered in sweat, His mom tries to comfort him. She puts her hand on his chest, and Jesse slowly lies down with his eyes closed, like he's being pleasured.
Oh, my God, yeah.
And I'll ask
crazy.
again, is this just our life? I mean, can we go 1 month without this shit?
No, we can't.
'Cause I just was like sitting. Hope Lang is like putting her whole hand on his wet chest, and he just closes his eyes and cocks his head back. I'm like, what is happening?
Dude, no, please don't. I didn't think of it, Dave. I was able to escape it this time, I guess. But
I have a really sick mind, as you know. So I just immediately was like, oh God, not again.
That subtext, I missed that subtext.
Okay,
but yeah, and I think during this dream, though, before all that, I think he goes into the basement and finds the claws that Freddy had. So like he has them now. He physically has them. Like they're not dream. Mm-hmm. They are corporeal.
Yes.
Like he has them in his like dresser drawer now.
Right.
Real claws.
Right next to Probe.
Yeah, right next to the Probe board game is. Ooh, that's a bad combo. Knife hands and Probe. And so he goes to school and he starts telling Lisa, hey, we read that diary last night, and all the stuff Nancy's talking about, like that shit's happening to me. This is what's going on.
Right.
And so she's like she's all helpful about it, like asking about more information, like tell me all about it, all this stuff. And and then I think Carrie mentioned something about a party with hot guys, because there's going to be a pool party that comes up later that Lisa is having.
Lisa's house, right?
Yeah, she's having her big annual pool party. And then we get a funny Marshall Bell scene here because Grady and Jesse are in the locker room talking shit on Coach Schneider. And Marshall Bell comes up behind Jesse and says, "Hello, dirtball," like right behind him into his ear. It's so good.
I love funny smash cuts that are predictable sometimes, especially in movies like this. Because when Marshall Bell emerges, of course, you know that they're going to get in trouble. But like after the "Hey dirtball" thing, we just go right to more like push-ups.
Yeah.
Yes,
smash cut to push-ups.
And they're kind of sorry push-ups too, I have to say.
Oh yeah, they're like drooping.
Yes.
Yeah, these aren't military grade.
Absolutely not.
These are sorry ass, like I'm barely gonna try.
No, you're not gonna get like good pecs from doing what they're doing.
No, and they're just doing the bare minimum probably.
Probably so.
Yeah,
yes.
when Coach looks over, then we straighten out a little.
Right.
That's what we do. Yeah, it's they're not even like lifting themselves off the ground half the time. Like they're just like pushing their chest up a little.
And that's the weird thing. If I was Marshall Bell and I was a dickhead gym teacher, I'd be standing there like over them the whole time saying,
"Oh yeah, come on, dirtballs!"
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or not even push-ups. Like you're holding plank for the next 30 minutes.
Oh yeah, man.
If I'm gonna punish teens like unnecessarily, then do it right.
So we go back to Jesse's house and we get this weird scene with a bird, which I find hilarious. They have like these little parakeets in this cage, and we keep saying Jesse's like covered in sweat. Apparently the house is very hot though, like because at one point Qube Gulliger says it's 97 degrees in this house.
Dude, and that's another excellent Qube Gulliger line, because like Hope Lang walks in and goes, it's hot as blazes in here. And he gets up from reading his paper, walks over, and it's just such great Qube Gulliger style acting. He looks at the thermostat and goes, 97 degrees in here, Cheryl.
Yeah, dude. And then Jesse, like they have like a cover over this bird cage, and it starts like rattling after we learn how hot it is. Yeah. And Jesse like opens it, and like there's a dead bird in there, and he like opens the thing, and another bird like flies out, and this like parakeet is like tormenting the family by like flying and dive bombing them in this living room. And like there's some great like, all right, it's a parakeet, 3 inches, right? And like there's some great like damage to Clue's face at one point.
Yes.
Like it dive bombs and like does a little like a claw onto his cheek, and you get a little slash. He's like, oh damn it.
I know. Damn, parakeet talent, Cheryl.
Dude, the parakeet attack is so stupid. And then, like, after tormenting the whole family for a while, it explodes in midair out of nowhere. And then Jesse's dad starts blaming him. Yep, you put a damn cherry bomb on that thing.
This is it's a ridiculous scene to begin with, but that it's got Qube Gulliger running around a room, like hiding from an attacking parakeet that eventually spontaneously combusts. It's one of the most memorable scenes in the series, but it's so ridiculous.
It's so dumb and so like. This is the definition of a completely unnecessary scene.
Agreed.
But I'm so glad they did this because this is worth seeing. You could YouTube this, I'm sure. Just watch this scene if you're interested. Like, it is something to behold. And Jesse, of course, is upset. I didn't do it. Don't blame me, you know.
Yeah, and I don't remember, how does he get blamed for this?
I don't know, because Qube has no idea. He's just like, how the hell did this happen? He can't explain it.
Okay, I'll just blame it on my son, who's been a little weird lately.
Yeah, he's going through some stuff. He must have rigged this bird to explode and attack.
Yes.
Sure,
Good
okay,
deduction.
yeah, he's a bird whisperer. It's a goddamn cherry bomb. So Jesse has another nightmare. Who would have thought, right? And this time he wakes up and he starts walking down the street and he goes to this club called Don's Place, which apparently is a real S&M gay bar.
Is that right?
Apparently.
Okay.
That's what I heard. And apparently the like one of the producers or someone, Mark Patton had like a real beef with him because I think it was the guy who blamed him for like ruining this movie and stuff.
So it was the producer. It wasn't Jack Shoulder.
I think it was a producer.
Okay.
David Chaskin. He had a real beef with this dude.
Got it.
And so, yeah, he scouted this place and didn't even realize it was a gay bar like this.
Chaskin did.
Apparently. They said they went when it was closed. But how do you not know? Yeah, and then you fill it with people who would go to this bar? Like, how would you... I mean, it's got to be bullshit. Someone's lying for some reason.
It is very shit-kicking hetero to, like, not acknowledge when you know something is gay.
Yeah.
So, I had no idea. Well, of course you did.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, and at one point, like, at least, he must have been, at least if he wasn't on set, he must have seen the dailies or whatever, but, like, the scene is Jesse walking through there, again, covered in sweat. He's got, like, a plunging neckline on his
great,
shirt.
Dude.
And then Jack Shoulder is tending bar, topless, and there's, like,
That's Jack Shoulder, the director?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
And there's, like, leather daddies all around.
Right, yeah. Like, the place is filled with who you think would be there.
Of course.
It's not like,
right.
Dude, there's no way that you just went here, scouted this place, and then coincidentally made it this place.
Living in a pretty heavy state of denial.
Yes, exactly. And so anyway, Jesse gets there. I think he orders a Budweiser or something. And then as he gets a whiskey glass, by the way, and pours the Budweiser into a whiskey glass.
I've never seen that because, Jack Shoulder puts the beer down and then gives him this low ball. And I'm like, you're pouring beer into that?
I've done that just to be stupid.
Yes.
I've never done it in public.
Right.
I mean, this is Jesse's first beer, maybe? I have
Maybe
no idea.
so,
like,
yeah. Right.
But, he gets a kid-sized glass. But as he's, like, grabbing the glass to take a drink, a hand comes around from behind him and grabs his wrist, and out appears Marshall Bell, Coach Schneider, dressed in, like, a leather something. Like vest with straps on it. Your gym coach has just almost assaulted you.
Yeah.
In this bar.
And earlier, Grady while they were doing push-ups, Grady had told Jesse that there was rumors about Coach Schneider, that he goes to heavy leather bars and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So in this dream, this is what's happening.
Yeah. And so after this, we cut back to the school gymnasium. I guess the coach is making him run laps.
Yeah. So he sees one of his students at this leather bar, and instead of fleeing, maybe he should even go to the management, go, hey, there's a student over there. That kid's 17.
Yeah, that kid's not old enough to be here.
Right.
Yeah. You don't make him do laps.
No, you don't. Like, I don't know how long he's been running, but he's like, while Jesse is running his laps, Coach Schneider is in his office just pacing back and forth.
Yeah. And there's like gym equipment everywhere. There's jump ropes and like basketballs everywhere. And the coach grabs these, I guess they're the jump ropes. Like, they're like straps.
Yes.
He's going to tie Jesse up or something with these things. And so as he does that, he's like walking around, and stuff starts to happen. And all these basketballs and tennis rackets start flying off the wall and hitting them. So here's some subtext. He's getting hit with balls. Lots of balls.
I'm glad to hear that. Because I have many problems with this scene. Now that I know, like, that you're reading of it, that he's being, like, like a barrage of testicles, that's pretty cool. But besides weights and ropes, it's hard to make sporting goods scary.
Yes.
Because the scene is not scary.
It's not. The movie isn't scary.
No, it's
I don't
not.
think anything in the movie is scary.
I have an idea, though, and I hope nobody steals it from me.
Okay. Take your risk. Here we go.
You could make this work if Freddy possessed a jugs machine.
Jugs. What is jugs?
Well, it's a jug machine.
A magazine?
No, it's not. It's not Al Bundy's reading material. It's this machine. It's motorized and it uses 3 spinning high velocity tires to throw a football.
Oh, okay, that thing. Yeah.
And a coach can like load balls into it quickly, and during a drill, a receiver can stand there and like catch the one by one, work on their reflexes. So imagine Freddy loading hundreds of footballs into the jugs machine and turning it up to full power.
Yeah.
And like Marshall Bell getting walloped while tied up in the shower.
Yes.
Death by jugs machine. I think that could work.
That could work, and that sounds like something that they could have. In this one is so tame compared to every other film.
Like this scene, when the basketballs and stuff are flying off the shelf, it looks ridiculous, and they just hit Marshall Bell, and he just kind of goes, ooh, ooh,
yeah. Yes. He's just kind of being,
that's
not
smart.
a good time. Like, this isn't fun.
Yeah.
But eventually he does like get knocked over onto the ground.
Yeah.
And then like the jump ropes wrap around his wrists and they start to drag him into the shower room.
And this is cool. Like
Yeah.
you can make jump ropes into something, like terrorizing.
Yeah, like this is a good part. Like the flying tennis balls and stuff, that was kind of stupid.
Yes.
But, yeah, he gets dragged into the shower room. Jesse is still like doing laps while all this is going down. Like,
right.
And he is sweating. I'm telling you what. But yeah. Then Marshall Bell then gets drugged into the shower room and he gets strung up against the wall. Like he's facing the wall and his arms are out like and up, tied to the wall around like the shower heads and stuff. And then his clothing gets ripped off. No one rips it off, right? It's just Freddy's power rips his clothes off.
Yes,
right?
the invisible spirit like does a Chippendales thing. It just takes all of his clothes off in one
like
rip.
the button-down pants, just
Yes.
rip them down.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Soul Man starts playing.
Yes. Dun, 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 dun. And then as he's like tied up here, like the power of Freddy grabs like a towel and starts whipping him.
And look, I enjoy this towel whip thing. I like the idea of it.
Mm-hmm.
But just like we were saying how the movie isn't as scary as it should be, and it's not as violent as it should be, this should be far more violent.
I agree.
I mean, those whips shouldn't just redden his ass. I mean, it should be like lethal. A gym teacher's death by dangerous locker room horseplay. That would be awesome.
Yes.
And like we should just be seeing like, just his ass cheeks, like just coming apart.
Yeah,
and,
they should be destroyed.
Yeah.
And like it looks like he just had a nice little slap on there, you know? That's yeah.
It was a night at the Ramrod in cruising.
Yes. It was a good time.
Right.
He died from pleasure, I guess. But then so he's tied up, and Jesse ends up in the shower room. I guess because I don't know. It's like a weird Freddy dream thing, right? So like he's in the shower room though too, taking a shower.
And it's weird because like he's facing the wall, Jesse, and he's like letting the water hit him, and it's kind of I don't want to say it is kind of a sensual shower that he's having because he's like
he's like holding him across his chest,
caressing
like
himself.
rubbing himself,
right?
Yeah. He's not just like washing,
no,
he's like touching.
And this is all happening while Marshall Bell is strung up, getting whipped with a towel
on the other wall.
Yeah,
this is the same shower room. But then Jesse like is watching it also, and it's like there's so much steam in the shower.
Yeah,
like this is one of my favorite shots in the movie actually. Like Jesse's standing there, like and the steam is like covering most of him, but you can see him from like the waist up, kind of like in through the mist. And then as the mist goes away, Freddy emerges.
Yes, and this is, I don't know if it's the first, but it's the real first most like real obvious thing of the melding of like Freddy is or Jesse is becoming Freddy in some way.
Yeah. And so then Freddy comes over and starts slashing Coach Snyder, and he ends up killing him.
Yes.
And then it cuts back to Jesse standing in the shower, and he's covered in blood, and he has the claw on his hand.
Mm-hmm.
So does he have Freddy Krueger inside him controlling him? Is Jesse having some kind of mental break and killing him? Where's the line here? Like,
right.
Is Jesse the one killing? Is Freddy the one killing? Are they both doing it? That's the whole question of what's going on. What's the mystery in the movie? How's this happening?
Yes.
And so, yeah, Freddy has struck again.
Right.
Yeah.
Different style this time, but he's up to his old tricks.
Yeah, he's getting his revenge.
Yeah, that's
Freddy's
right.
revenge on Coach Snyder, dude.
And it could be also that he participated in Freddy's murder.
That's true. The whole town did.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Whip him on the ass a little bit. Kill him.
Right.
Yeah, so then the cops bring Jesse home. I don't know, like, I don't know what happened here. All of a sudden, the cops just show up at Jesse's house with him and say, hey, Hope Lang, Clu Gulliger, here's your son.
And they're like, you better watch out for him. We found him nude.
Don't worry, he's white and probably straight. It's okay.
God damn.
Have fun in the Krueger house.
I know. Jesus.
Come on, cops in horror movies. Come on.
Useless assholes.
All right, dude, why don't we take a break and we'll come back and enjoy a little more fun.
Right.
Social media. It's all the rage these days. And if you take part in this racket, head over to Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, or TikTok and search for Dudes on Movies. Why, you might ask? Because we post supplemental material regarding the movies we're discussing. Photos from the films, behind-the-scenes articles, question of the week videos, and more. So if you want to be a part of the action, get over there and follow us now before this social media fad goes away. All right, Dave, we're back from the break, and we had just left the murder scene, and now let's see what happens.
Right.
It's the next day at school. Lisa and Jesse are driving to school, and there's a crime scene. So right. This really did happen. Coach Snyder is dead.
Yeah. And all the cops are milling around outside Springwood High School, and of course it's on everybody's mind. And Jesse doesn't know what to do because he remembers his dream. He remembers he was there, and the lethal barrage of towels and sporting goods.
Yeah, he remembers it all.
Right.
And then he ends up leaving school, and Lisa goes with him, and they're driving around, and he confides in her and tells her, like, what's going on now. Like he thinks he did it.
Right.
Something's going on.
And they go to the factory, right?
Yeah. They end up going to Fred Krueger's power plant, is what they call it. Something like that. Apparently he worked there, and that's where he had the furnace where he did stuff, I guess. Right. I don't know. But yeah, they go there, they look around, and Lisa tells him he brought 20 kids here, he killed them all. So we get more of the backstory, and
yes.
She's trying to help Jesse figure out what's happening, because she said in the car or something hey, you have some kind of psychic connection, you're picking up some signals, let's go to Fred Krueger's place of business and we will see if you pick up any signals there, and maybe we'll figure this out.
It's not the worst plan, but it is something where you're just improvising. Okay, I'll go to where he worked and maybe I'll get something.
Exactly, and that's what every movie is, right? They're well, we'll try this plan and see what happens.
Right,
yeah.
right.
And, but they do go there, and I don't think he feels anything. And I do really love that Lisa wants to help him, right? Yeah. She's like, hey, we're going to go to this old abandoned power plant to try to help you.
She's great. This is where they first, it's starting to become romantic, their relationship.
Yeah. a little more so than before.
Yes.
Definitely. And you get some dumb jump scares here too, like a rat is in the locker and
That's right.
stuff.
I was
Some
trying to
dumb
remember
shit
what
like
happened.
that.
Yeah.
Nothing important really happens here.
Right. Right.
That rat is not scary. And
No.
later there's like a super rat, and that's not scary. There's some weird creatures at the end that have like 0.2 seconds of screen time. That I'll mention when we get there. But
Right.
yeah, so Lisa is trying to help, and she believes him, right? And so that's the important thing to note here. So there's another dream, I think, where Jesse's going to go kill his sister, but he doesn't. He ends up like walking into her room. I think it's a POV shot, actually.
Yes.
It starts in Jesse's basement in like the boiler room down there near the furnace, and the camera just moves all the way up through the house upstairs into the little girl's room and like stops like right next to her on the end of the bed. And she wakes up and she's like, what time is it? And then it cuts to Jesse standing above her, completely sweaty, shirtless.
It's what he does.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
crazy, dude.
This is what Jesse is all about.
And he says, it's late, go back to bed. And it like the camera like pans down and you see the claw in his hand. So like,
Right.
I guess he was gonna kill her, but then something stopped working with Freddy's power, and maybe he didn't. I don't know what happened.
Because he's trying to withstand what's happening to him.
Yeah.
But he's still sweaty and topless.
I think Freddy says something like, wake up, little girl, or something to her, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
But and she wakes up, what time is it, Freddy? It's time to go to sleep, bitch. Like, that's what
Yeah.
that's the Freddy we get, in other movies.
I mean, yeah.
It's not in this one.
He will always call you a bitch.
Yeah,
after
Jesse Pinkman's you.
Yes, yeah, that's right. He loves to taunt you like Jesse Pinkman.
And then the next day at school, we get like an argument in the lunchroom with like Grady and everyone. Like Jesse he looks pretty strung out here. Like he is not looking good.
Right, and he's sitting with Grady. Like Jesse and Grady are sitting not only together but next to each other.
Yeah, side by side.
Right, and like this is not something that you do with someone who torments you. So it's another layer to their relationship.
Right, they're like friends.
Right.
And like so they're talking about things. My dad thinks I'm on drugs. My mom thinks I'm crazy. All this stuff. And like Lisa and her friend, I forget the name again. She comes over. They're sitting there talking about the pool party, talking about Jesse's situation, and like at one point, Grady and Jesse get into it. Like they start arguing and fighting, and Grady gets like pissed off at him. Because I think he was trying to help maybe, and like Jesse doesn't want it, so he gets pissed and leaves.
Yes.
They're talking about the pool party here too, and this is where we find out Grady's grounded.
Yes.
Because he's horrible, apparently.
Right, and because he did
Pushing
something
the elderly
bad
downstairs.
He did something bad, or he said he did something bad. This
Or
guy's
he's just
pretty
lying, but he doesn't go to the pool party.
He doesn't go.
He's at home just in his room, so
Right.
maybe he is grounded.
He's asleep at a decent hour.
Yes. Who would have thought Grady would do that?
This guy is a party dude in 1985.
Yes.
If anything, he is out on the town.
Yeah, he'd be mounting it every night,
Exactly.
as he said.
Yes, he'd be at the whiskey sneaking in.
Yes, he would. And so we'd finally get this pool party we've been hearing so much about. Mm-hmm. We're at Lisa's house, and dude, did this pool, this house, it looks like Ian McKellen's house in Gods and Monsters.
I thought the exact same thing.
It has to be the same house.
I wonder if it's the same set. Yeah.
It's gotta be.
Because, this is just James Whale's house in Pacific Palisades.
Like, there's the scene in that movie. There's this scene where like he's remembering the past of there's all the men in the pool swimming, and it like all dissolves in and stuff. Like this is the same shot,
right?
Except now it's teenagers in 1985.
And you found a GIF at one point, that was like a deleted scene from the movie. That was another flashback where, like, James playfully pushes one of the hunks into the pool.
Yeah,
and this looks exactly like
it's
that.
It's the
set.
same framing. It's
right.
This has to be the same set.
And of course, again, Springwood is supposed to be in Ohio, but just like the first film, it's obviously California.
This is not an Ohio house.
Every car we see even has California plates. It's no big deal, but it's
what? It's a dream. It's all a dream. Right. Doesn't matter.
That's true.
The desert, yeah, obviously that's a dream.
Yeah.
But yeah, this car with a California license plate, nice details in the dream. This is like Inception level detail.
Dude, I know. And also, like, Jesse's, like, 66 Dodge Dart, like, I've never seen a convertible version of that, and it's weird because it doesn't look like it's even a convertible. It just looks like they shaved
like
the
they just
roof off
cut
of
it down.
Yes, right.
Clu Gallagher got like a hacksaw out and converted
Pretty
it.
much, exactly. This is a Clu Gallagher
We're not
chop
paying
chop.
for this. We can do this ourselves. Come on, Jesse, give me my tools. And then he's like yelling at Jesse for trying to help.
You're doing it wrong, Jesse.
Just let me do it. So yeah, we're at the pool party, Ian McKellen's house, and everyone's there. There's like dozens of kids there, right? And so Lisa goes into the pool house. Like, there's the cabana house there where you go to like change your clothes and all that stuff.
Man.
They go in. This is where Ian McKellen paints. This is literally.
I know. It's that's his studio.
I'm so hung up on this. All right.
Right.
Anyway, she follows Jesse into this little pool house, and they start talking. He's afraid to sleep. He's afraid to stay awake. All this crap, you know. And he says he's going to leave. He's ruining the party. He shouldn't be here. He doesn't want to be here right now.
Yes, and before they went into the cabana there, we saw Jesse moping over in the corner. He wasn't participating in all the antics.
Yeah, he looked like he did on the school bus at the beginning. Like he looked,
Right.
He looked pretty out of it. They're in there. She's trying to console him a little bit, and they end up making out. And they get on the floor, and they start getting handsy and stuff. And Jesse ends up kissing down like her body. Then eventually it cuts to a giant, nasty Freddy Krueger tongue that is coming out of his mouth. And he freaks out, and Lisa doesn't know what happened. She's upset, and he like runs out and leaves because of this.
And I think that this is the gayest thing in the movie, because when Jesse walks out on sex with Lisa, he leaves the party to go into Grady's room, and
Yes.
Grady is shirtless in his bed. And when Jesse bends over the bed, it looks like he's going to kiss Grady awake.
Right, yeah.
And for a few seconds, you're like, where is this going?
Right. And he like snuck into his window and
Yeah.
everything. Like, I love it too. I love how it's the juxtaposition. Like, I'm completely bailing on this, and I'm going to go into my male friend's room.
Right.
And that's where I feel comforted and the safest.
There's really nothing even subtextual about it. I mean, this is
Not
just
even
like
close.
pretty blatant.
Not even close.
Right.
And he's telling Grady everything he couldn't tell Lisa.
Yeah.
Like, I'm terrified. I'm scared. Like, I need you to help me. I'm in trouble and I need you.
And what he needs Grady to do is watch him while he sleeps,
Yeah.
and then help him if he thinks he's in trouble.
Yeah. If I start to act weird, stop me.
Right.
Yeah. And of course, Grady says he will, and he ends up falling asleep.
And Grady blows it completely.
Yes. You can't rely on Grady, it seems like.
Okay, first of all, Grady, like, he gave you specific instructions of what you needed. You've already gotten some sleep. Like, you were asleep when he got there. Presumably, you went to bed at 10 p.m. or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You've gotten a couple of hours. He asked you for this one favor, and goes over on his side and starts to watch like the $1,000 movie or whatever, and it's not holding his interest. And instead of like grabbing a book or something, he just goes, "Well, that's it for me," and he just rolls over and goes to sleep.
Yeah, like deliberately.
Yeah.
That's it. Time for some shut-eye.
Right. My friend did this. I would put my clothes on and then stand watch. Instead, he's just still in his underwear.
Yes.
Ready for bed.
Yeah, it's not like Glenn just happened to fall asleep, in the chair.
Yes.
No, Grady deliberately turned his back on you.
This guy,
What
man.
an a-hole,
Yeah,
man.
This guy sucks.
If you were near the stairs, he'd push you down them. But yeah, then Jesse wakes up and notices Grady's sleeping. He starts screaming, and we said the movie's not scary, and I don't think it really is, but
Right.
there's some good gore effects in the movie.
A couple of them, yes.
Yeah, and this is one of them.
Right.
Jesse starts freaking out, and like his skin starts to kind of like bubble and stuff, and like out of his fingertips come Freddy's claws, like slowly. It's like reminds me of like werewolf transformation.
Yes.
Like they come just poking out of the tip of his fingers. Looks very painful.
Yeah, when you see the blades come out of flesh like that, it's like, it's just, I can't watch it.
It's like Wolverine bringing his claws out, except
Yes.
this is like coming through the tips of your fingers, and it's gonna hurt. Jesse's like screaming, all this is happening, and then eventually like he like lifts his shirt up. I don't know if he has his shirt off or what, and we see like Freddy's face like press against his skin. It looks like in Alien when like the chest burster things like coming out of your stomach and stuff. Like it's pressing out and you see his like nose indented. And, you know, we're cutting back and forth between Jesse screaming and Grady screaming because he's trying to run and like get out the door, but it's locked, so he can't, of course. And Grady's dad is on the other side of the door, like trying to help, and it's Ferris Bueller's dad.
I couldn't believe that. I'd forgotten that entirely. Yeah,
it's the same year.
Because I hadn't seen this movie in a long time, and I was like, wait, that's the same guy.
Yeah, I think Ferris was 86 actually, or something. But yeah, like man, Ferris Bueller's dad can't help him.
Well, and once again, this same guy playing another clueless 80s dad.
And so Freddy emerges out of Jesse's stomach, like full on, like it's Robert Englund coming out of this puppet, and like the Jesse's body's like folding open and stuff.
Yeah, Kevin Yeager handled Freddy's design, and then Mark Shostrom created the effects where Freddy emerges from inside Jesse. And this has nothing to do with the work of Mark Shostrom, but during this viewing, I noticed that Mark's like husk dummy looked exactly like A.D. Miles.
Really?
It's just like, watch it again, you're like, oh my god, it's just like he looks like his character from Wet Hot American Summer.
I wonder if they just had like a different cast or something. Or
maybe, I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, I know this was before that 80 Miles' time,
right? But it's just a weird coincidence. I'm like if you put like aviator shades on him, it would look exactly the same guy.
A headband or something. Yes. Well, that look from that movie would fit in this.
I know.
Like it would be a holdover from the 70s.
80 Miles looked very 80s in that movie.
Yes, so he did. 80s Miles.
Yeah, that's 80s Miles.
80s Miles.
Oh, that's pretty clever, dude.
Yes, thank you. I worked on it very hard. And so, Freddy is out, I guess. He is physically in Grady's room, and then he starts attacking Grady. He like gets him against the wall and like has him pinned against the door, and he like with one hand, the claw hand, like shoves it through his body, and it goes through the door also, and then almost hits Ferris Bueller's dad. And then like it cuts to Jesse like standing in the room again. Like he's standing there screaming, covered in blood again, and he's looking in the mirror, and Freddy is in the mirror taunting him, like laughing. And then Jesse grabs the glove off his hand and chucks it at the mirror. You son of a bitch, you killed him. And Freddy's just laughing in this cracked mirror. It's good. I like this scene.
Now, does the door ever come down?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if like the parents saw like dead Grady and then like Jesse covered in blood.
I feel like they probably... I think Jesse flees. I think he runs out the window or something. We don't see it.
Like he doesn't get caught.
Yeah, we don't see the aftermath or whatever. He's missing, I guess. But he shows back up at the pool party after this. He's covered in blood, and he goes into the main house because Lisa's in there. And he sees her, and he's like, hey, Fred Krueger, he's inside of me. I need help. Like, I can't do anything about this. This is crazy. So Lisa gets the idea, like, hey, Nancy said she was fighting him. We can fight him, too. We can figure it out. He's living off of our fear, so if we're not afraid of him, he can't hurt us, which is the same thing that happened in the first movie.
Yeah.
And it's a big theme throughout. They use it throughout the whole franchise, really. Like,
yeah,
because he feeds on your fears.
And it just always takes the kids most of the runtime to figure this out because, otherwise we wouldn't have a movie.
Right, yeah. And so Jesse starts freaking out more. Oh, my God, he's coming back. Get out of here. And things outside by the pool start, like, lighting on fire, and, like, beer bottles are exploding and stuff.
Yes, and those Coors that were in the cooler, if you look at them, they've replaced the Coors logo with the word beer in the Coors font.
They did? That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love a good beer.
So do I.
In a movie.
Yeah.
But especially when they put the extra effort in to mimic a brand.
It's like, because there's about, 20 cans in there, and they had to make that many props.
Yes, they did. And, it was necessary, I'm sure. But yeah, all this chaos is starting to happen at the pool party. And then, like, fish tanks are exploding everything's going nuts. And then all of a sudden, Freddy jumps out from behind a desk. Like, I don't know if, like, Jesse, like, fell behind the desk, and now Freddy jumps out. Like, you don't really get to see anything of how Freddy got here again.
Yeah.
He's just kind of here.
And he starts to chase Lisa around. And, like, American Psycho stole one of these attacks for their movie, because, like, Kara Seymour in that movie is lying on the ground, and Patrick Bateman grabs her leg and starts to gnaw on it, and then she kicks him in the face and gets away, which is exactly what Lisa does in this movie with Freddy.
Yeah, he takes a big bite out of her leg.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't, like, take the flesh, but yeah, there's teeth marks.
Uh-huh.
And she has grabbed a knife from the kitchen, too, and she's, like, pointing it at him.
Yes.
With, the very flimsy hands. No one can hold a knife, apparently.
No, I mean, like, everyone is so scared all the time, and, like, I mean, I guess if Freddy Krueger walked in right now, I'd shit my pants too.
Yes.
But I'd like to think that I could grab this Yeti cooler and brain him with it.
You probably could.
Yes.
I think it would work. But yeah, she's like yelling at Freddy and stuff. Like she's yelling for Jesse and all this. And Freddy is saying to her, like, there's no Jesse. Jesse's not here anymore.
Uh-huh.
Shit like that, But then he also uses Jesse's voice to confuse her and stuff.
Yes.
Which is cool. Like, he is in control now. Like, Freddy is the one in control.
Anytime they use this method of, like, a character trying to comfort you and beckon you by, like, affecting the voice of someone you love.
Yeah.
It's always a cool thing.
Yeah, they use it good in T-1000 used it, right?
Yes.
He mimics the physical form too, so that's pretty good, pretty advanced stuff.
Right.
So yeah, Freddy like jumps out of the house and disappears. He like jumps through the glass door, but like it doesn't break, does it?
Maybe it did break, because I remember watching the movie. I thought of Manhunter when this happened.
Okay,
and I was
I'm getting mixed up because like then he goes through the fence, but that doesn't break.
Oh,
like later.
okay.
Like,
yeah.
So, yeah, whatever. He can break stuff if he wants, or he can walk through it. Doesn't matter. He can do what he wants.
But he ends up like going out into the pool party and starts, like causing havoc.
Yeah, like after he jumps through that glass door, it kind of like everything like dies down for a moment and gets quiet, and like all these like bros at the party are like, everyone okay?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Like, and then Freddy like spring load jumps out of the floor. Somehow, like, I don't know where.
Yeah, and he had, and the whole thing of like, are you okay? Is everybody good? He had made the water boil in the pool.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
And I was like, well, okay, so how come everybody's not like covered in welts and stuff?
And how come no one boiled to death in the film?
That's the other part of it.
Nightmare on Elm Street 2.
I know.
Come on.
Like, I mean, there's only one really decent kill in this movie. It happens about like 2 minutes from now, where the guy in the white polo shirt he gets gutted. Like, it's the only time I can name where we get like a full-on gusher and someone keeling over. I mean, this party had many teens. I know. And we should have gotten about 20 more of these.
We should have. And that dude with the polo comes up. He's like, he's trying to calm Freddy down.
Ugh.
Like he's walking out. He's like, Freddy, bubby, like calm down, I'm here to help. I'm here to help you, Freddy. And Freddy goes, help yourself, fucker. And then, like, just stabs the dude and gushes blood.
And, I mean, dude, honestly, they even knew by this time the like slasher rules had been well established.
Of course,
kill the whole room, kill everybody.
These
That's what
kids
people are here
need
for.
To die. They're drinking and having sex.
Yes, teens and their many vices. They deserve death.
Dude, we should have seen at least 2 skeletons floating in this boiling water.
No shit.
We should have.
I know. Yeah, the pool should have been just running with blood.
It should have been, yes. This was a big blunder.
Yeah.
Like, the movie's not scary. There's some tiny bit of creepy stuff in it, but, like, and there's not enough of the gore.
Right.
Like, there's just not a lot in the have to really, really love,
Yeah.
Like, I do appreciate the film for what it is, but it could have been so much better.
And what makes it rewatchable is the gay stuff that we're talking about, and whatever they intended, whatever they didn't intend. I mean, like, that is just on display for you to enjoy, and also think about like what the possibilities could have been too.
Yes, and because of all that, it has this cult following as the gay Freddy movie.
Yeah.
And all the stuff behind the scenes and all the documentaries we talked about, like, those are so interesting. I'm almost glad the movie is what it is.
Yes.
Because we get to talk about this kind of stuff.
Right.
And instead of, just another Nightmare on Elm Street movie.
Yes.
It's like Halloween 3. Like, if it was just another Halloween movie, no one would be talking about it.
There are so many scenes and moments from Season of the Witch that I really, I just love.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of my favorite aspects of the franchise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I love when they take big swings at stuff. And sometimes it doesn't work. Kind of like this one.
Yeah, it falls flat in a lot of stuff, but I mean, they could have been improved significantly if they had just killed everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, just kill everyone. Come on, dude. At least that guy in the shitty polo gets killed.
Yes, and there's a couple of guys like at the party who are also like doing the classic 80s jackass, like, hey, baby, what's going on? Like, those guys are... those are the people who die in
right,
movies.
They need to die. And Carrie should die. She's promiscuous.
That's true.
Lisa's friend. She's always asking about where the hot guys and stuff.
Yeah, she's got the Jennifer Beals hair, too.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. And then that one dude, the musclehead, is always coming up to her. There's a funny scene when she's talking to Lisa after Jesse ran out on her. And she's like comforting her, and that guy like comes up in the pool and like grabs her leg like, hey, baby.
Yes.
She's like, not right now. I'm busy.
She's a good friend.
She's awesome, right? And that dude just looks like, oh, what? That guy needed to boil.
Yeah, I mean, that guy is ripe for a killing.
And so Freddy walks through the fence and leaves. After killing one teenager.
Holy shit.
Sorry, dude.
Sorry.
At one point, Lisa's dad gets like a shotgun out too, but doesn't use it.
We forgot to mention Lisa's dad because like he doesn't use the shotgun. What in the world? What movie is he in?
I think Lisa stops him or something.
Well,
but,
I mean, Lisa
because she thinks Freddy is Jesse, I think, so she doesn't want him to shoot Freddy.
She's always the voice of reason because she's the final girl.
Yes, and she's great.
Right.
Where are we at here? Freddy just left the party. He wasn't having fun anymore. Wasn't anyone good to kill there?
But there was Freddy. You had plenty of targets, and you biffed on all of them.
So what? Why? I don't know why he left.
I don't either. But he gets up going to his factory.
Yeah, I don't know what his game plan is.
Right. And
if the game plan was to use Jesse to kill kids,
well, maybe that's why. Maybe if that is Jesse that's Jesse inside of maybe that's why he didn't kill anybody because Jesse's like trying to resist the urge.
Maybe Jesse is struggling against Freddy, and so
maybe there's a reason they did all this stuff that we've been complaining about.
They really don't explain it.
Right.
He just goes back to that factory where we had a jump scare with a rat earlier.
Yes.
And Lisa, I guess she just knows, all right, got to go to the power plant.
Yep.
We got to get there. So she goes by herself to this place. Come on, get your friends. You have a whole gang with you.
I know. They all survived.
Freddy's not going to kill them. We already know that.
That's right. But they have to go into these, like platforms and have this duel.
Yeah.
Surrounded by steam and flames.
Yes, because it's 1985 and it's the end of the movie.
I mean, it just, man, I don't know why so many filmmakers had felt the need to end their movies in these places.
I don't know. I like it, though. I love it.
I guess I've seen many of them, so I guess I like it too.
Yeah. And when she gets here, there's like some weird creatures too. Like she goes to the front of the building and there's like these two guard dogs with demonic baby faces attached to them. It's really weird.
Bizarre. It reminded me of 1978 remake of Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really did. And so, but nothing happens because she's trying to practice what she preaches, right? Like, hey, don't be afraid of them. They can't hurt you if you're not afraid. The movie doesn't explain this to you. She just walks past these demon dogs. And she gets inside, and then there's like I mentioned a super rat or something earlier. She like turns around, and there's like a rat that scurries at her real fast. It's a really cheap jump scare that isn't good. And then as the rat's like running at her, some like demon cat jumps on the rat and eats that. But eventually she finds Freddy through all these like house pets and stuff.
Yes. and they're now struggling on this raised area, and Lisa is crying because she knows Jesse's in there, and she's like trying to get him out and trying to save him, and Freddy is doing what he normally does, which is to hurl obscenities at her, and Lisa. It's the power of love,
Basically, yeah. I love you, Jesse.
Yes.
And Freddy's like, no, love.
He can't take any kind of love, it's not part of who he is. And he utterly rejects it. And eventually, like that thing where Freddy had emerged from Jesse's husk happens here now, but it's the inverse.
Right. It's not as good as the other one.
Right.
But Freddy ends up burning up, and Jesse emerges from him. We see the body laying there, and it's Jesse, and he wakes up and he starts peeling off the crispy bits from Freddy. It's like the fried chicken skin that when it's too oily, and it just peels off the flesh, and it's a little gross. That's what he's doing.
I think you've hit on something here, the crispy Freddy, because he does look like buffalo wings, like his flesh.
It kind of does.
So I wonder if they took inspiration from they just had a plate in front of them. Oh my God!
They might have. I know he was originally designed based on pepperoni pizza.
Oh, all right. Okay, well that works too.
I think that's in that Never Sleep Again documentary.
Okay.
Whoever did the original design, I think that's how they came up with it.
They said pizza.
They were eating pizza and were inspired. Oh,
okay.
Let's make them look like that.
I need to watch Never Sleep again.
He does look delicious. I watched about the first hour before this just to get touched up. But so he's alive. I think before he even burns up, Lisa kisses Freddy.
Yes.
That's the ultimate damage giver.
Right.
I love you and I'll kiss you.
So she's even sacrificing her own who knows what's going to happen if you kiss Freddy Krueger, but she goes for it because she knows this is the only way to save Jesse.
Yeah.
And so she has to Lisa has to do this, but also Kim Myers has to put her mouth on this prosthetic, and it's pretty gross.
She's a true actor,
right?
That's for sure. And so Jesse kind of gets up. He's on his knees. She runs over to him, and they embrace. They're both sitting there on this catwalk in the middle of all these flames and steam. And it should be, a triumphant moment.
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel that way. The music is still very ominous the whole time. And the way Mark Patton plays it, he's very confused and doesn't know what's happening or where he is probably, and he might not even know what has happened over the last few hours.
Yeah, I think he's probably just still reeling from what just happened to him. So that could be also part of it. Maybe he didn't immediately recover once he was able to shake Freddy's flesh. And even though he's in Lisa's arms, he's not fully grasping what's happening yet.
Right. Yeah. And I like that it is this way because it leaves you with that, sense of unknown.
Right.
Okay, well, is it really over? Who knows? They could have done more with this. I think they could have done one more scare instead of what they give us with the school bus. I think they could have done something better than this.
Yeah.
Because after this, we do cut to them on the school bus again because they're going to bookend the movie with the school bus. They're on the bus. Carrie's talking. They're all on the bus this time, by the way. I guess they stopped driving Jesse's car. I don't know.
I don't know what happened to the dart.
I don't know, man.
And when they're on the bus, my only complaint with the ending is how. So, yeah, they're trapped on this bus to hell again. But the way the bus just goes off-road and starts driving in slow motion into, a horizon through a desert, it doesn't go into, that pit they were in before, and the sky doesn't turn black.
Yeah.
It's just a bus careening through the desert in slow motion.
Right, yeah. And then Carrie says something about, hey, the pool party was great. So, of course, this has to be some kind of dream. And then she says, Jesse, it's all over. Don't worry. And then Freddy's claw, bursts out her chest as if he just came right through her. So,
and that was cool.
That was a cool effect.
Yeah.
It probably was one of the better jump scares in the film.
I agree. I think it's the only good jump scare.
Yeah.
Because it's the only one that I can remember.
Yes. I remember some other ones. They suck.
Okay.
That's why I remember them.
Right.
But yeah, after that happens, that's when we get the bus driving off into the sunset.
Yes.
And it is a very weak ending.
What if the ending was the jump scare? Like, it just, the claw coming through
Instead
the
of
chest.
the bus?
Yes, like a freeze frame on that.
That would have been better.
Yeah.
That would have been way better.
And you have, like, this just, like, everybody reacting horrified, like this,
Yeah.
and then, like, credits.
Because it implies the same thing.
Sure.
Right? Like, it's a dream. Freddy's here. It's not over. We don't need it going into the desert.
No.
That weakens it. Nightmare on Elm Street gets very surreal a lot of times, right?
Yeah,
And I
that's
mean,
true.
because they're dreams, right?
Yes.
Dreams can do all kinds of crazy shit. And it can be used in a good way, but it's not used very effectively here.
Especially with dream logic is weird, but if people are really dying, then dream logic, I don't know if you can apply that to someone's actual death.
Yeah, I think the ending is so weak.
Yeah.
Like even the final confrontation in the power plant was pretty weak, I thought.
Oh yeah,
Like,
it's not interesting.
Not much happens at all.
No,
So-
you are kind of, even though this movie's only 87 minutes, you're checking your watch after the pool party ends.
Yeah, they should have put another 10 minutes in with a better final confrontation.
Yep.
Maybe Jesse and Lisa have to fight Freddy together in that factory now.
Right, because your protagonist is missing from the final confrontation.
Yeah, it's not good.
Right.
It's not a good ending. And that is the end. So, do you have anything else, Dave?
Well, I like to point out this stuff because it every time I watch a movie from like that time, it just occurs to me. But like, if you watch it again, look closely, and you'll notice several extras wearing hats emblazoned with like Olympic logos.
Yeah.
It comes up like 3 different times. And the year before, McDonald's had run a promotion based on the 1984 Los Angeles Olympics. And the way it worked was that when you ordered your food, you were given this scratch-off ticket containing like an Olympic event. And if the U.S. team medaled in that event, your ticket was worth a free item, like Big Mac for gold, fries for silver, etc. The problem was the company had not anticipated that the Soviets and the East Germans and other communist countries were going to boycott that year's games. So with less competition than normal, the Americans kept medaling at every event, and McDonald's was losing their shirt, having to give away all this free food. And like, plus the way the promotion was structured, when you redeemed your ticket, you were given another one that was also likely another winner. So like McDonald's was like exponentially screwing themselves.
That's a vicious cycle.
Yes. And these hats were also available for purchase during this promotion. So I noticed several of them in the film.
That's amazing. I just love when corporate fast food gets rammed.
Dude,
I love
it's
it.
the best. Yes.
It's great. That's so awesome. All right, well, would you recommend this movie?
Yes, I think I'm still going to recommend it, even though we've been very critical of it. I think it's worth seeing just because of, Mark Patton and what he did here.
Yeah.
And like, even not having been the creative force behind it, like it's still good to watch what he does.
Yeah, I don't think we even touched on it, but because of the backlash of this movie, it kind of ruined his career. Like, he didn't do much after this.
Right.
And couldn't get work because he's the one who ruins movies now.
Yeah, that's such crap.
Yeah, and he was on I think he was on Broadway with like Cher and stuff before this. He was a successful male model. Like,
Yeah.
he was
He had been-
the it guy.
Yeah, he was on the way.
Yeah, and then because a bunch of homophobic assholes, they ruined his career.
That sucks.
But yeah, I would say watch it. It's not one of the better Freddy Krueger movies, but it is interesting as like a relic of slasher history.
Yes.
And so I would say check it out for that. And if you're a Nightmare completionist, you've probably already seen it. But yeah, watch all of them. It's not the worst one. I wouldn't say that.
Absolutely not. and it's still, you'll have a good time even if you don't think it's very good.
Yes, especially that dance scene. That's a good scene.
It is, right.
All right, so that wraps things up. If you like what you heard, please subscribe to the show anywhere you get your podcasts, rate it, review it, and most of all, share it. It gets more dudes listening to the dudes, and you can go to dudesonmovies.com and find anything you need right there.
Yep, and we're on Facebook, Blue Sky, TikTok, and Instagram. Look for Dudes on Movies. Our email address is dudesonmovies@gmail.com.
That's right, and Dave, we have a question of the week. What is the question of the week?
What are your favorite movie sequels that focus on new characters?
That is a very good question, so hit us up and let us know. And stay tuned next week when we discuss 1991's City Slickers, directed by Ron Underwood and starring Billy Crystal and Jack Palance. So until next week, I'm your dude Scott.
I'm your dude Dave.
And we'll see you next time.